SAT, Test 1, Section 4, 28 to 30. All right, the final problems in this section before you get to the grid-ins are probably the most difficult. So if you can't get these, if you start getting stuck towards the end of a section with grid-ins, you want to just move on to the grid-ins because they start out easier again. All right, these aren't hard though. If the system of inequalities y is greater than or equal to 2x plus 1 and y is greater than 1/2 x minus 1 is graphed in the xy plane above, which quadrant contains no solution to the system? Okay, one way you can do this is you can pick points in each quadrant and see if they work. That's one way to do it. You could pick a point like 1, 1 in this quadrant. You could pick negative 1, 1. You could pick, you just keep going on. Negative 1, negative 1. You could pick 1, negative 1 and see which ones don't work. Okay, the proper way to do this, though, is to graph them. So let's do the first one. The y-intercept is 1. It's going to be kind of messy. We're going to go up to, for the slope is rise over 1. So we go up 2 over 1 and connect them with somewhat of a straight line. So then just get a straight line and connect them. Like that. There we go. And this, you have to know where to color it. So you're going to be coloring above the line up here. So now these systems, we're going to see where they intersect. That's going to be the solutions. So this one is a negative 1. Your slope is up 1 over 2. And here's the other line right here. I'm going to connect those with a straight line. And like this. I guarantee I can go straight through them. Okay, I can't really move that, so I'm just going to move on. See if I can do that. All right. So this one is also greater than. So I'm going to color with a different color. Second, and we're going to see where they intersect. That's where the solution. So this one's going to be above here, and then we're going to color in where they intersect. Where they're going to intersect from above this line, like this, the whole way down here. So they are in quadrant 1, it's in quadrant 2, it's in quadrant 3, but it does not intersect at all in quadrant 4. So your solution is going to be quadrant 4. And again, I said you could have picked a point, you could have picked a point 1, negative 1, and you would have put it in and it wouldn't have made this one true. So that's another way to do it. All right, this one is, it seems like in every test they have 1 or 2 that are definitely more advanced math topics. So this is an advanced one. It says for a polynomial p of x, the value of p of 3 is negative 2. Which of the following must be true about p of x? All right, when they're telling us, when you can substitute a number into a polynomial and get something other than 0, this is also the remainder of the polynomial. For any of you that have had advanced math, you know this. If you're in pre-calculus, you probably would have learned this. If you didn't have pre-calculus, you wouldn't have learned it. So what that's telling us is there's definitely a remainder. So it's not giving us enough information to tell us about the factors. It's just telling us that when the polynomial is divided by x minus 3, the remainder is going to be negative 2. There's not much more I can explain this to you except to know that when you have something and it tells you, when you substitute a number in the polynomial and you get something other than 0, that's the remainder. All right, and the last problem on this section, which of the following is an equivalent form of the equation of the graph shown in the xy plane above, from which, here's the kicker for this one, from which the coordinates of the vertex of A can be identified as constants in the equation. All right, here's the vertex. It's right down here, and if you figure out the vertex, it's going to be 1, negative 16. Which one of those has a 1 and a negative 16 in? Well, I tried to tell you with the circle one, it's always the opposite in parentheses. So the vertex, if you're looking down here, the vertex of this is going to be 1, negative 16. A parabola in its graphing form is y equals a times x minus h quantity squared plus k. This is a parabola. We did the circle one a little earlier, where the vertex is HK. So if I FOILed this all out, x squared minus 2x plus 1 minus 16, we get x squared minus 2x minus 15. It does indeed look just like this equation, but it demonstrates what the vertex is. So when it's in this form, x minus h quantity squared plus k, that tells you the vertex. The vertex would be this number that comes out here, it's a negative, and then the opposite of this one. If it's in parentheses, it's always the opposite, so it's going to be plus 1. So these last ones, minus this one, I don't think that one's that hard, but 29 and 30 are definitely more advanced algebra kind of work. All right, on to the gridirons.